guys, Will here with W.T.F car reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing the all-new 2024 Nissan Sentra SV.
And a big thanks to Red at Courtesy Nissan in Tampa, Florida for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to their inventory below, and if you're looking for a new car, SUV, or truck in the Tampa area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out and ask for Red.
And for those of you guys who don't know, the Sentra started off as Nissan's subcompact car back in 1982. That's when the first generation was released. Moving up to the compact segment in 1999 for the 5th generation, the 8th generation Sentra that you see here was released in 2020 and facelifted this year for 2024. Featuring a revised front end with a new sleeker bumper, new headlamps and taillights. We also get an updated Nissan logo, updated Xtronic CVT transmission, and new wheel designs for both the 16 and 18-inch rims. Fuel economy is also up to a combined 34 mpgs, 30 in the city, 40 in the highway, partly thanks to a new start-stop feature as well as changes to the transmission. Starting with the $20,500 base S, all the way up to the $23,700 top-of-the-line SR. Here we have the middle-of-the-road SV with a $21,560 base price. What else do we get for that money? Let's jump right in. So up front, everything is new here for 2024, from the bumper, the grille, the Nissan badge, and the headlamps. We don't get any functional airflow in the corners, unfortunately, but I still really like the updated design that we get here for the Sentra. The wheel and tire setup, as we mentioned, the 16 and the 18-inch rims get an updated design with a 5-lug pattern. Here we just get the 16-inch rims for the middle-of-the-road SV, but the top SR gets the updated 18-inch rims. Wrapped in Hankook Kinergy GT all-season tires, dimensions being 205/60 R16. So the 60 series sidewall should keep the ride quality nice and plush, and we'll see if these 205 wide tires are enough to put this 149 horsepower, 146 pound-feet of torque to the ground. We get splash guards up front and out rear. The mirrors are body color with a black contrast. Blind spot monitoring on the inside part of this mirror. It's not on the glass, but we still get blind spot monitoring. Black trim up top of the window trim, blacked out B-pillar, shiny chrome down below, but really not a whole lot of shiny chrome outside of the bottom part of that window trim. Smart access for the driver and the front passenger, body colored door handles. We'll check out the window sticker here for this 2024 Nissan Sentra with a 2-liter SV CVT. $21,560 for the base price. You guys can pause, take a look at all the standard features. We get quite a bit of them. You can also upgrade to the premium package, which gives you even more features without costing nearly as much as an SR. Options: $245 for the splash guard, $75 for the clear rear bumper protector, $270 for the carpeted floor mats, $80 for the door sill plates, $1,100 for the destination. Totals us out a tick over $23,000. Fuel economy, as we mentioned, is up to 34 combined mpgs, 30 in the city, 40 on the highway. All really impressive numbers. Same rear wheel and tire setup. Unlike the Versa we just reviewed in this channel, we get disc brakes out rear too, and a splash guard, as we mentioned. Out rear, we don't get LED taillights, but they are incandescent with a halogen turn signal in the corner and a halogen reverse light as well. Chrome Sentra badge, chrome SV in the opposite corner, updated Nissan badge. Shout out Courtesy Nissan in Tampa, Florida for helping make this review possible. Sentra nameplate on the trunk lid. Hopefully you can pick it up on camera, and I like the tints in this vehicle too. I apologize for the rain. There's really not a whole lot that I can do. Thankfully it calmed down a little bit as I started this review. We get rear parking sensing too, exhaust tip in the lower left corner, and speaking of the exhaust tip, let's fire up this 2-liter 4-cylinder engine and hear how she sounds. Alright guys, that was the sound of the 2-liter 4-cylinder sold by Nissan for the 2024 Sentra SV, and it sounds okay, making an okay amount of power at 149 horsepower, 145 pound-feet of torque. Made it to the new Xtronic CVT transmission. You can expect 0 to 60 between 9 and 9.5 seconds, so definitely not the quickest. It is quick enough though for the segment and price point, but I've said it for several years now, it'll be really nice if Nissan offered this vehicle in like an SR turbo version, which may make like 220 to 230 horsepower, kind of like the Altima. This vehicle has way better driving dynamics, and in my opinion, better looks as well, especially after the facelift. So I think an SR turbo would really sell. Maybe even take away some sales from Kia with their Forte GT that we just reviewed in this channel too. But anyway, taking a step inside, we get smart access for the driver and the front passenger, tints too, but that's like aftermarket thanks to courtesy Nissan of Tampa, but they still look really good. Here's the blind spot monitoring. It lights up when vehicles are in your blind spot. We get soft touch up top, stitching for the center, and it's gushy soft leather stitch armrest, auto one touch window for the driver, a little bit of carbon fiber surrounding the window controls, power windows of course. You'll squeeze a foot long in here with a 24-ounce bottle right in front of it. Standard 6-speaker audio system, but it's still pretty good for a bass. We get a Sentra nameplate as we step inside. We don't get the leather seats. You got to go up to the premium package to get the quilted leather seats for the SV or go for the SR trim, but they are still very nice, comfortable, well bolstered, different material in the center to make it a little bit softer. They're not power adjustable, but they're still adjustable. You can recline, drop, lift, and slide the seats all with latches. Taking a step inside, we can really check it out. So foot on the brake, engine start, stop, and everything fires right to life. But although the outside is heavily updated here for 2024, the interior really, you don't see any changes at all. For the SV without the premium package, we don't get a leather wrapped steering wheel, but it's still a very nice shape. Solid thickness, a soft material, it's like an injection molded plastic. Nice 10-2 bolstering, 9-3 fits perfect, and it's a flat bottom with an aluminum frame. The horn area is hard plastic. The horn, not very loud or aggressive, but people should still be getting out of your way. On the left side, volume and skip controls. You can adjust this infotainment. Right now we're looking at a digital speedo. You can also see a blank screen and a digital speedo with the song that's currently playing beneath that. Overall settings, you can see the advanced safety features and the forward collision sensors right up front. Audio, tire pressure, you gotta be driving to see the tire pressure beneath that. Trip A, speed limit sign recognition, fuel economy, average MPGs, and total fuel saved per mile. We can also go right back to where we started. This is my personal favorite to leave it at all times, so we'll leave it here. The tach goes to about 6,400 RPM with the coolant temperature beneath that. Speedometer goes to 160 with the fuel level beneath that. On the right side of the steering wheel, we have our radar cruise control adjustments with voice commands. You can hang up and answer your phone calls. The stocks have a very satisfying click. Auto headlamps, auto high beams, no auto rain sensing wipers, but wouldn't be expected at this price point. We get the updated Nissan badge for the horn area. That's really just about the only difference here for 2024. Tilt and telescoping steering wheel, eco mode, interior brightness, trip reset, and trunk release. We have our parking brake down below. It's not a handbrake, but it's still nice to get a non-electronic parking brake that's activated with the foot. Gas cap release in the lower left corner, hood latch release right next to my foot, and hopefully you get a good look at the pedals. We get stitching for the front part of this dashboard, just hard plastic for the back frame of it, but this middle portion where you're actually going to be touching and looking at gets some premium looking stitching with carbon fiber inserts outside of the gauge display. We get the 8-inch touchscreen too. No navigation, but this is our home screen, audio, call history, AM, FM, Bluetooth, USB, customized screen, and clock. Of course, we get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so navigation is not necessarily necessary. Brightness adjusted, volume dial has a satisfying resistance to it, audio, skip, home main menu. You can hang up and answer your phone calls, camera, and a return. Speaking of camera, when you press it, you can adjust the predictive course lines they're currently on and adjust the display settings. To actually check out the backup camera, we'll throw it into reverse. And it's not the best resolution, but it does the job with guidance lines and trajectory. And we get parking sensors here on the SV. We throw this thing right back into park and we return immediately back to the previous screen. 3 air vents in the center, that's nice, and they're like this Camaro style air vents too. Beneath that we have our defrosters, manual climate control. Some of you guys may not consider this a very premium feature. You can upgrade to the premium package and the dual zone automatic climate control and heated seats are included. But personally, we live in Florida, we don't need heated seats, and I personally don't really like automatic climate control, and I use manual climate even in vehicles with auto climate, so I'm not going to complain about it. You can turn off the auto start stop, USB-C port, USB-A port, and an aux port with a 12-volt right next to it. Nice little storage spot for phones, engine start stop button, some aluminum outside of the gear selector. This button right down here is basically like a sport mode, which we'll check out during this review. You'll easily fit 24 to 30 ounce bottles in these cup holders. Gushy, soft leather stitched armrest. We can check out the storage space, massive. You're fitting at least 3 or 4 1-liter bottles of soda in there. You may fit 2 2-liters in here. It's very deep, very spacious for a compact sedan. The glove box, we can check it out. It is damp, not lined with felt, and it's not that large. You'll fit 15, you may be able to squeeze 17, 18 license plates. You'll fit a pair of shoes in there, but I wouldn't expect you to fit 2 pairs. We get a rear view mirror. It's not frameless or auto dimming, but you can pull this flappy thing to dim it. Sunglass holder, cool. The interior lights are not LED, but they still do the job. That's about it though, guys, for the front seat of this 2024 Sentra SV. Let's hop out back, see how much space is offered back there. Check out the cargo space, and then take this 2024 Sentra out for a drive. So up top, we get hard plastic, same thing for the center, to be expected for a back seat of a vehicle starting at 21,000 bucks. The armrest is still gushy soft leather, power window, plastic door handle, a little bit of storage down below, speaker. The seats, the padding goes all the way out to the door frame with a contrasted material for your butt and your back. Legroom, I'm a little bit over 6 feet tall, sitting behind my seat settings, and I still have about 4-ish inches of knee room, headroom, about an inch, maybe an inch and a half. So big upgrade compared to the Versa in terms of headroom, but legroom's about the same. If you're under 6'4", I would expect you to sit behind your seat settings with no problem. We don't get air vents unlike the Versa SR. I'm sure the SR for the Sentra gets air vents, and I'm sure the premium package also includes it, but the base SV does not include the air vents. USB-A port back here though, and a mat pocket behind the passenger seat. No center cubby, you gotta go for the leather seat option to get the center cubby in the Sentra. The interior light back here, it's not LED, but wouldn't be expected considering it wasn't up front. And we don't get any hooks on either of the grab handles, but you can hook to the actual grab handle if you really needed to. Taking a step out of here, we can hop out into the cargo space, see how much space is offered back there, and then take this 2024 Sentra out for a drive. So we get a subtle electric chute to open up this tailgate, or trunk, whatever you like to call it. Massive opening. The wheel wells are well cut out, so you can easily fit a golf bag horizontally. You may be able to fit 2 right next to each other as well. The floor mat or carpet says Sentra on it. The rear seats are pretty largely cut out. If you fold them down 60-40 split, I'd expect you to fit a 55-ish inch TV back here with no problem. The rear seat cutout's about the same size as the Versa, but the trunk gives you a few extra cubic feet. But what you see is basically what we get. We can shut this trunk right down, walk around this 2024 Nissan Sentra SV one more time. It is a nice looking vehicle. I've said it about the Altima countless times. I can see some Lexus design heritage in these facelifted Altimas or facelifted Nissans, especially from this angle. I can see some Infiniti heritage, and I can see some Lexus all throughout this side profile. Performance wise, let's take this 2024 Nissan Sentra SV out for a drive and see what it's got. All right, guys, now just about seeing everything we need to see with the inside and outside of the all-new facelifted 2024 Nissan Sentra SV. Let's take it out for a drive and see what it's got. My first impression, though, the steering feels really well on center, and the throttle feels a lot more responsive compared to the Versa we just reviewed in this channel. The ride quality also feels a little bit better, which says a lot because the Versa had very good ride quality. It's just this Sentra feels like a whole class above, which makes sense. I mean, it literally is a whole class above, but it feels like almost like something you would get from a luxury manufacturer compared to it. Over these big bumps, don't even feel it. About third throttle, not fast, but it's more than powerful enough. The Versa car and driver tested the Versa at 0 to 60 time, and I want to say 9.5 seconds, while testing the Sentra at 9.2. And personally, I feel like it's a bigger difference than a 0.3 of a second 0 to 60 time. This feels almost a full second quicker when you lean into this gas pedal. Take them out for a drive. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think, but my personal first impressions, that's what I feel. The steering feels excellent. Changes direction super quickly. We'll try it out in the sport mode, see if anything changes. The transmission immediately raises the revs. The steering feels about the same. Maybe gets a tiny bit lighter or heavier. I mean, we'll try out a turning radius and body roll test, and the ground's wet. So let's see if we get any understeer. We do not. Body roll is limited. Wow. Very limited amount of body roll. And coming out. Woo. Yeah, maybe 9 seconds 0 to 60 is more accurate. It feels a lot stronger when you step on the gas in terms of response, but when you actually lean into it and let it rev out, yes, it's quicker than a Versa, but really not a whole lot. The extra weight, the extra 300-400 pounds of the Sentra is offset by the extra 20-30 horsepower. We also get engine start stop. Like right now, the engine is not running. I'll let my foot off the brake a little bit just to get the engine back to running, but off the line, on the gas, good response. Yeah, it feels very strong up top, but that mid-range is just about dead. From about 2,500 to like 4,500, you're creeping up in revs, but you're not really feeling the engine creating more power. Once you cross 4,500, that's when the engine starts to feel a lot more powerful, but before then, really not a whole lot. The steering though in sport mode does feel a little bit better. I feel quite a bit through the wheel. Good weight, good response, and very good feedback, especially for the price point. Understeer, yeah, we do get a little bit, but coming out, woo! Remember guys, this is a wet pavement, and these tires do a good job of gripping the road. This is a very safe, stable, good handling vehicle. And exactly, that's why I always say, why can't we get an SR turbo model? This is one of the more planted vehicles in the segment. I prefer the ride over this over the Corolla, over the Civic, and over the Forte, maybe even a Forte GT. This has a better feeling ride. Why not give us a turbocharged model that can compete with some of the higher ends of the competition, such as the Civic Si, Forte GT? You guys get the point. I wish they did something like that, because I really feel like Nissan can make the best product out of all of those companies, assuming that they don't put in their CVT. But even the CVT here, it feels good. The handling feels so good. Response to the steering is excellent, and the brakes. I haven't even mentioned the brakes yet. They feel so much better than the previous Sentra that I reviewed. Taking a step out here on the gas. Whoop. I mean, you definitely get there, you just don't get there particularly quickly. But now that we're there, up at around highway speeds, make sure this guy's not going, he's not, but up around highway speeds, the road noise is quiet. The wind noise is just about non-existent. We mentioned that with the Versa we reviewed in this channel, how the wind noise was so well isolated and the road noise was just about non-existent. No, the Versa was the SR, and it had Continental Pro Contact tires, which are a little bit more of a high end compared to these Hankook tires that we have here on this Sentra. So we should get a little bit more road noise, but for the most part, I'm not hearing any difference. Taking a step out here, we can try out a real world turning radius. It is sharp on the gas. Woo! Don't have to beat it up a whole lot further. Now that we're at highway speeds, yeah guys, it is so well isolated from the road. That's what I mean when I say that I feel like this vehicle has a lot of inspiration from companies like Lexus and of course Infiniti, with their parent company being Nissan. It looks so good. The refinement in the interior is top-notch excellent. The only complaint that I really have with these Nissans, and I've had it for about 10-ish years now, even from before I was driving myself, just from doing the research and watching videos online, is the CVT. Everybody hates it. Most consumers don't like it. Most reasons why people go for a Camry over, say, an Altima, literally the CVT. Most reasons people go for a RAV4 over a Rogue, literally the CVT. Why Nissan keeps making the CVT as their sole transmission is beyond me. Yes, it's getting better and better every single time they update it, don't get me wrong. But so would a conventional transmission. If Nissan never gave up on conventional transmissions, how good would they be at this point? Like, look at the Frontier, look at the Pathfinder, really anything that's made it to the V6 outside of the Murano, those transmissions feel really good. Why don't they put more effort into perfecting their conventional transmissions that people love and have great regards, instead of the transmissions that people, for the most part, absolutely can't stand? Outside of that, I got no complaints with Nissan as a brand. They make some really fun to drive cars. They look really good. If you're looking for something that looks better compared to the Korean or Japanese competition, Nissan usually has you covered. It feels more premium, it looks more premium, especially after this facelift for this 2024 Sentra. If you're looking for a vehicle around the $20,000 price point, you want enough space for full-size adults, at least 3 or 4 of them, you want good looks, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, a decent sound system, and decent performance with excellent fuel economy. That is what this vehicle exceeds at. At $21,500 for the starting price, you get so much in this vehicle for the money. Like the Versa we just reviewed in this channel, the Versa SR was literally 21,000 bucks. And this is literally more car. Yes, you get more features in the Versa, but honestly not by much. If you're looking for a vehicle around the $21,000 to $22,000 price point, I would 100% recommend checking out the 2024
Nissan Sentra, and check out the SV if you want a couple more bells and whistles. Check out the SV Premium, but this SV Versa is such a good value. I would definitely recommend checking it out. And a big thanks to Red at Courtesy Nissan in Tampa, Florida for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to their inventory below, and if you're looking for a new car, SUV, or truck in the Tampa area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out and ask for Red. And huge thanks to all of you guys for watching. I had a great time making this video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. You guys know the channel is just not possible without you, and I really appreciate the constant support. But again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Leave a like too. It really helps me out the YouTube algorithm. That's how these videos get promoted to new people. Leave a comment. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like. Leave a comment. Let me know if there's any specific cars, SUVs, or trucks you want to see reviewed on this channel, and I'll definitely try getting those videos for you ASAP. But other than that, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope all of you have a great day.